So what I got here is a package unit, train downstairs obviously, and I guess their main concern was the upstairs unit. Another company, these units are 11 years old. I think the company that installed them is telling them that it's time to replace this unit, that there's a leak in the coil upstairs. There may very well be. I'm not out here to throw anybody under the bus, just doing a second opinion. And while I'm here, hook up and check this one and verify the charge on that one and see how it's going. May pop the door and check the heat exchanger on this one. We'll see. It's a gas pack, but let's get hooked up to this thing and start with those pressures and see if they're actually low or not. This pipe is not sweating, and it's what, 94 degrees today. I've had this unit on since I got here. I turned it up, or turned it down to like 64 degrees, 73 upstairs, 74. Did notice a little bit of a different feel in the humidity from the first floor going up to the second floor. So maybe there's something to that, but I notice my exposed copper out here is not sweating. So that's the first indicator that there may very well be a leak in this unit. But let's check it out and see what we find. Alright guys, so we are hooked up and running a 127 and 324 with basically a 31 degree superheat and a 1 degree subcooling, so that is definitely letting me know it's undercharged a little bit. So I guess we'll dig in a little deeper and see what we can find. Go up there, look for a leak. Let's see what kind of condition we're dealing with back here. So this one's a heat pump, so they've got gas AC package unit downstairs. They've got it's like a heat pump upstairs, and it being a heat pump and having a little more piping in it. There's somebody else that does what I do. Let me pop this door real quick on the side. Look for the obvious signs in these units. A lot of times on the condenser outside, when you've got a train outdoor unit, most of the time it's this one. It'll be real gummy and gooey, and it's been leaking. There'll be oil down there. This is dry. I'm not seeing a leak there. Not seeing any visible oil or wetness, or kind of like a dirty engine block would be. You get a little bit of an oil leak in your engine, and all the dirt and dust and stuff sticks to it. The obvious signs. Doesn't mean there's not a leak in it somewhere, but it's just not that common, honestly, with these outdoor units. And if they could get the evaporator coils in line with how well these condenser coils stand up over time, train might be onto something. It's their biggest problems, that damn evaporator coil. So that's where we're gonna go. We're gonna go in the attic, check that evaporator coil. But first I'm gonna hook up to this other one over here, check the pressures on it real quick. So the first thing I noticed, and I took my cap off from my suction to hook up my probes. I don't usually use the direct discharge line for my head pressure. I come up here off the liquid line, and the cap is missing. But my suction line's sweating real good going back to the coil. So I'm guessing the pressures on this one are gonna be okay. She just wanted to double check the charge on this one. They didn't recommend that I know of anything about this unit being a problem, but she just wanted it checked while we were here. So this one, oh, I don't know, maybe it's a little overcharged. We're looking at a 7/8 superheat, 15/16 subcool. We're looking at a 403 head pressure, and that coil could probably use a cleaning. Got good hot air, but it doesn't. And again, I don't have a $100 bill with me, but it's not great air coming out of there. It's okay, but it's not. Yeah, that one's fine. I mean, it's hot, but that can indicate two things. That coil is dirty, and it's holding a lot of heat because it's not transferring properly, so this air is real hot coming out, but it's not real fast either. So that condenser coil probably could use a good cleaning. But now we've dropped our superheat down to 1, 2. So I'm gonna pop this door off and take a look at this evaporator coil. So that coil doesn't look real bad. I'll double check the filters when we get inside. I don't know what size that return is in there. Let's go look and see what size this unit is. I don't see any oil beading anywhere in here. Usually you'll see that, but this coil looks like it may have already been replaced at one time. Just the way it's sitting in here. Very good possibility. But we'll check that filter when we get back in the house. But we're going to go up there real quick and do a leak search on that other unit. This one probably just needs a good maintenance. And we'll see what the filter looks like inside. See how that thing's slanting like that? That should be straight up and down. It's got a slant to it. The screws coming through this door that attach here and here when you get the door on were missing. So that coil has more than likely already been replaced from the way I'm looking at it. And I don't know if anybody's been doing maintenance on it. It's not the cleanest thing in the world either. And another thing about this door, these screws aren't in there. This door's bowed. So I'm pretty sure I'm got a gap around that coil about that wide on the outside, and probably getting some bypass air around the outside of this coil. But scratch all, guys. Trying to find a hole to get a screw in. I've got a couple extra screws. I'm gonna put them in there the way they're supposed to be. But that coil's not sitting straight, so I gotta sit here and try to get the damn hole lined up wherever it is. If I can find it, that might be it, right there. Okay. There we go. And then that one, nope, didn't go in there. So I can find this one. There it is, right there. Scratch all, guys. They come in handy. Alright guys, so you saw how dirty those units were outside. This air handles up in the attic, not too bad. This house was built 11 years ago. These were original units on the house. The company that, according to her, installed them has been doing her maintenance since the equipment was installed, and pretty sure everybody saw how dirty those units were outside. Leaves all piled down in the bottom. The top of the package unit was under the fan was piled up with leaves. we typically will get all that out when we do a maintenance. But the cobwebs in the electrical panel, she said they come out twice a year. And then she whispered, she said, but I don't think they really clean anything. I'm like, yeah, I can see that. But anyway, so let's double check this coil and see if it actually does have a leak. Looks like it's the original coil, 2012. That would have been 11 years ago. This is the old Train 4 TEC air handler, and these were, I liked these air handlers. These coils were easy to change. Those heat strips were easy to work on. Contactor, that's it, just a contactor for your heat strips. You know, blower motor comes in and out of this thing real quick. You got kind of a little tight electrical box down here trying to mess with the relay and the transformer, which that's just a regular PSC motor. But all right, let's let this leak detector warm up and see if I can pick something up, see if there is an actual leak in it or not. All the caps were on it outside, so maybe minimal refrigerant loss over 11 years. Like I said, that's the original coil. It wouldn't surprise me if it has a little leak in it, but if they would still make an air handler as solid as this, I like the TAM air handlers, but if they would make a coil that would last, that's their only hang up these days, those damn coils. Checking all these, and I didn't want to bore you with 30 minutes of me going real slow, so I try to be meticulous and go around all these U-bends, and I've done all that and checked the TXV. Didn't really pick up anything down here until I got in the corner. Right back here in the bottom. So we're up to about 59 there. We'll zero it. We'll do this one more time. So we definitely a leak in it. My tip is dry, so I didn't get any water in it. At least that's what she said anyway. But that's the 4th time I've hit there. So yeah, the coil's definitely got a leak, and I mean, it is what it is. See how badly it's rusted. So I mean, it's more than likely recently started leaking, maybe in the last 6 months maybe. The pressures didn't look horrible, but the subcooling was 1, superheat was 30, so she could probably add a little. It being a heat pump, I hate to tell people just add some and get you through the season, because this thing runs year round on refrigerant. If it was a straight AC coil, hey, it's September what, 6th, we'll just add a little refrigerant to it, get you through October into November. You're running your heat, and then you can deal with it in the spring. And we'll come out and reassess it and see how it's working. Maybe you got a small leak, but heat pump's a little different because it heats with the refrigerant. So if it's steady leaking, we get into the winter, and then they have high light bills because the auxiliary heat's running more often than it should. So she'll get her options. We can charge it up. We can replace the coil. We can get an estimate on the unit. She did question that down there about the age of the system and what they quoted her to replace this coil. I'm going to give her another estimate from us, and then we will let her decide what she wants to do based on all the proper information. But second opinion turned out to be correct. The coil is leaking. They're not cleaning it like they said they were, that's for sure. But we'll see what she wants to do. Appreciate you guys watching. Like, subscribe. Super thanks to support the channel. Every little bit helps. We'll do something with that money. Another big giveaway, maybe at 20,000 subscribers. Maybe 5, we'll see, or 15, I'm sorry, 15. But anyway, guys, appreciate it. Watch it. Enjoy it. Have a good time with it. Have your opinion on it. I'm all fine, guys.